Hi, I'm Sarah Boehm, Director of the Stark Museum of Art in Orange, Texas, and we're here to view our special exhibition, Medieval Manuscripts from the Stark Collections. This is an exhibition of objects of beauty from our permanent collection. We have 4 medieval manuscripts. Each is a book of hours from the Middle Ages, and we show these annually, each year open to a different page to highlight a different illumination and to highlight a different theme in the exhibition. The first one is by a Flemish artist of the early 15th century, and we have it open to a miniature, as the main scene is called, with one of the scenes of the life of Mary. The books of hours generally have prayers to the Virgin Mary, and each prayer begins with a standard illustration going through the birth cycle of Jesus with Mary's story overladen. And here we have the visitation where Mary greets her cousin Elizabeth. And this is set on the page with a beautiful, elaborate decoration in the border and a highly illuminated initial piece. All characteristics of the type of illustrations that were done with these beautiful books of hours. This book of hours is by a French artist, and it's also open to an illustration from the birth cycle. In this case, the adoration of the Magi, the wise men who have come to worship the child. This illustration is a little bit later, early 16th century, and it shows the classical influence as well as the medieval interest in the use of gold and bold colors, and then the Renaissance use of perspective and neoclassical columns, setting off the beauty of the scene. This is an especially lovely illustration, as is the border decoration on the following subsequent page. In the books of hours, in addition to the story of the birth cycle, there will be other standard illustrations. Usually there are representations of the 4 evangelists leading into sections of the Gospels. And this book, an early French book, is open to an illustration of Saint Mark. And Mark, who would have been an early Christian saint, is shown more as a medieval scribe. So it gives us a little bit of an idea of how the artist of this type of book would have looked, working at a tilted stand. He's writing his manuscript, in this case, on a scroll rather than on the pages. And St. Mark is accompanied by his attribute, a lion. And just in the teeth of a lion, he's holding what we believe is a pinner, which was a place where the medieval scribe would have kept his quill pen and other supplies. So the artist of this illustration gives us a little indication of how the illustrations were made. Then the final book of hours in our exhibition is one by a Dutch artist, and it is open to illustrations of 2 of the saints to whom prayers would have been offered. In this case, St. Catherine of Alexandria on the left and St. Barbara on the right. And the unknown artist of this book of hours is referred to as one of the masters of the dark eyes because of the stylistic tendency to show the faces with eyes heavily lined in dark colors to emphasize the eyes. And this is a stylistic characteristic, and shown in the way that the portraits of the individual saints are done, each with her own attribute showing her martyrdom. Well, we think that this is a great way to learn about the Middle Ages and about the cultural life of the history. In the Middle Ages, religion was a very important part of daily life. The books of hours were prayer books that lay people, not the clergy, but the average person, would have and would use to guide their devotional life. So in looking in the books of hours, you can get some of the sense of how medieval people approached their daily life through their prayers, and a sense of what they found beautiful in the use of rich materials, the gold applied to the illustrations, and a general enjoyment of all that nature has to offer.